There are concerns over the worsening backlog in the U.S. immigration court system. More than 2 million cases are already being held up. That expected to get much worse. Insult to injury as the influx of migrants are expected to start crossing tomorrow. NewsNation's Dre Clark reported in New York alone, it can take up to 10 years before a migrant is interviewed by an immigration officer or appears before a judge. I want to bring in former New Jersey Superior Court judge and author of 10 books on the U.S. Constitution, Judge Andrew Napolitano. Thank you for being with us on this. We've got the political side of all of this and the blame game, finger pointing. We've also got the legal side of that. And the backlog of cases is so eye-opening and concerning. You've been on the front lines of this. First of all, how long have we seen the backlog of cases be piling up?
Well, I've never, good afternoon, Marni. It's always a pleasure to be on with you, my friend. I've never seen a backlog anywhere in the American judicial system quite like this. 10 years is almost inconceivable. I mean, a person enters the country and enters, let's say, legally, and the Immigration and Naturalization Service says, yes, you are from a country where you're being repressed. You legitimately have asylum. Here you are. Here's your court date. We'll see you in 10 years. 10 years later, if that person returns, it's not even the same human being. It's the same body, but their social status, their economic status, their cultural status may have radically changed by then. They may have married an American. They may have American children because the babies were born here. So that backlog almost defeats the purpose of the whole system. Stated differently, if a person is waiting online for their trial for 10 years, they could become so Americanized in the 10-year period that the trial judge won't know what to do. It will tug at the trial judge's heart to send this person home after they've established roots and a family and have obeyed the law and have been a productive member of society and has paid taxes in the 10-year waiting period.
I'm glad you brought up the emotional side of this, because I think that gets lost in the details, and that's the fear that so many of these migrants are scared. They don't come here speaking the English language, right? There's the language barrier. Talk about that component of the process for a judge or an immigration attorney.
That's a great question. The emotional aspect pervades everything. It actually gets to the heart of the judge. I have tried these cases. I was not an immigration judge, but as a trial court judge of general jurisdiction, meaning you have jurisdiction over everything in the state. Often these immigration issues arose, and often it was necessary without a jury for me and for other judges similarly situated to decide, is this person here legally? Because if they're not, then the trial's going to go one way, and if they are, then the trial's going to go another way. So a preliminary issue is the lawfulness of their presence. It is emotional for everybody involved. The person whose immigration status is being scrutinized by the court is often terrified, is afraid that everybody is against him, doesn't trust his own lawyer, doesn't know if the judge is truly neutral or is part of the governmental apparatus. These are very difficult cases to try. So if there are millions of them, and if there are only several hundreds immigration judges, you can imagine how many of these trials there are, how draining they are, how often the result is not the right one because of the rush to judgment. The government will need many, many more times the judges and court personnel. It's 3 or 4 court personnel for every judge. So you're talking about hiring 5 more people. Multiply that out thousands of times. That's the money Congress is going to have to invest if they want to cure this problem in a legal and a humane way.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.